my name is Dr. Philip Mack, and I have a question for you. I, what if the person with all the answers couldn't heal themselves? So, have you ever looked in the mirror and said, "My gosh, I'm a doctor. I'm supposed to have all the answers. Why am I still sick? Why am I exhausted and barely holding it all together?" Well, that was me. That was a time I was successful on the outside, but I was broken on the inside. And I was fatigued. I was scattered. I was, you know, and worst of all, my patients weren't getting better. So the thing is that I practiced medicine for over 20 years. I pulmonary and internal medicine, and I treated thousands of patients. And I worked in a high pressure hospital situation. I had a successful office practice. And I did that for over 20 years, and I treated thousands of patients, and often with serious respiratory and other types of medical conditions. So, but behind the scenes, I was living on coffee, I was living on not sleeping, and my relationships were horrible. I was never home. And, I realized that, overall through all this thing, that, medicine was insurance driven and pharmaceutical driven. And the real thing is that there had to be answers because this couldn't be real. So my life lessons that my wounds became my wisdom. And so my journey started long before medicine, with childhood trauma and anxiety and depression and poor self-worth. And I was diagnosed later with bipolar depression and anxiety and ADHD, and the medications made me feel worse. But I kept going. I I went to medicine. I went to Mexico to study medicine, and I learned Spanish. And I returned to the practice in the U.S. in New Jersey, and I even passed a board exam. Uh, 30 years after being out of basic training for 30 years. So I that was a gift. And I realized that being persistent and asking questions was really all what this is all about. And so the second thing is that you can get successful even though you collapse. And so the thing is that when I was out of medicine for a while, I had issues where I wasn't able to focus. I was living on junk food. I was living on caffeine. I made impulsive, ego-driven decisions against my better judgment. And, I ended up abusing my medical license, and I lost everything. And so the thing is that after that, I couldn't get a job. I was I had to start over again. And so I took radical responsibility, and I said, I had to figure out what was going on. I started as a personal trainer, and then I had no identity. And eventually I discovered functional medicine, where the body was able to heal itself. When I was going through my childhood traumas and anxiety, I had, you know, been diagnosed with, bipolar depression. I was diagnosed with ADHD, and I was also diagnosed with things, uh, with IBS. And, I never could really put everything together until I discovered functional medicine. So, when I was able to focus on what was going on with my life, I was able to heal myself with uh, basically, learning about the body, how we're aware of, what's going on with our body, and how, food and stress management and all these things are key in order to how we heal and how our body works, because we're biological. We're not wired in a way that kind of helps us to function. So we need to manage our stress. We need to focus on sleep. We need to eat the right foods. We need to read labels. We need to avoid toxins. And so the transition for me was that even though I practiced traditional medicine for over 20 years and I was supposed to have all the answers, I found out that, I had to really take care of myself and I had to heal myself and heal my body and literally work on things that were able to, make sense. And so what I focus on is I focus on how the gut, brain, and habits really work. So the gut and the brain are incredibly connected. The brain, because we're affected by toxins and we're affected by our thinking uh, and how it connects to the gut. And the gut is, what the food we eat and also the effect of toxins on our gut bacteria, because we are mostly bacterial and we're more bacterial than we are cells. So the thing is that there is a connection with the brain and the gut, and it's via the vagus nerve. And that is something that actually controls symptoms. And they're always in communication. In fact, there's a brain in our gut. And that's actually making a lot of our decisions, including things like gut decisions. Like you actually can make decisions with your gut. Funny, right? So the thing is that I realized that I had to heal my gut. And by putting the right food in, by focusing on sleep, I was able to alter my microbes, and by that, I was able to heal my bipolar depression. I was able to heal my ADHD because I started thinking more clearly, and I was able to heal my IBS and controlling my stress. So the important things are that, mindset is really important because we want to be able to control our stress. And the food that we eat is also important because there are many things in our food that I realized that, we have that affects our thinking, it affects our metabolism. So today, as a functional medicine practitioner, I am able to teach entrepreneurs how to extend their lifespan and their health span. And I'm able to teach them about the power of medicine, the power of mindset, and just how they're connected. And, it's important to realize that you really we need to manage our stress, and stress really plays an impact in our overall health. And for me, I was able to realize that by making good decisions on focusing on myself and focusing on gratitude and focusing on just being more mindful, that I'm able to make the right decisions, that I'm not going to make impulsive decisions, that I'm not going to make things that are going to jeopardize things in my life. And I realized that my energy levels were so much better. So if you're somebody who's struggling with brain fog or digestive problems, or you are having problems with depression or bipolar, I was able to heal myself, and now I feel that I know I can heal your conditions because I realize that, we're looking at the root cause. We're not looking at symptoms. So when you go to your doctor, they may not have all the answers, and we need to look at ourselves and be more introspective about things. So I find that, and the thing is that you have to work at things, that you have to be persistent and, start from the basics and not really shortcut things. And also, when you have what you have, be grateful for what you have, because, when I was going through what I was going through, I found out that I took things for granted. And, until I really kind of went back to the basics and really figured out what I wanted to do, that I was able to, really get my life back and really discover how the body is connected and how we're able to really affect our our health conditions. And now the issue is that because we have such a problem with chronic health conditions now because of the food that we are eating, and also because of the fact that we are having problems with stress that are just off the charts, it's important to understand just how the impact of all these things can affect our overall health. So I find that if you want to get in touch with me, then I would reach out to me. You can email me, or you can also at phil@livefunctionally.com. My website is livefunctionally.com. And I also have an ebook that I offer, which is called Stop Sabotaging Your Gut, and also to understand what foods create inflammation and how the inflammation can affect our overall body and how it affects our health span and our lifespan. If there's any questions, I'm certainly available, but I just wanted to have say that because I was able to heal myself, I can now heal others, and realizing that we are biological and that we're not a system driven. In other words, if you go to the doctor and you have a headache, you see a headache doctor. If you have a gut problem, you see a GI doctor. That's the way traditional medicine was. And functional medicine, now I can spend more time with my patients. I can now focus on why things happen as opposed to just getting a diagnosis and being treated with medications that may or may not work and have a lot of side effects. So the thing is that by understanding that we really shouldn't go for the quick fix, that we really need to delve deeper into why things happen, as opposed to just getting a diagnosis or just accepting the fact that we are that we have a diagnosis and we need to be on medications the rest of our lives. It's pretty powerful, especially what I went through in terms of my life and how I really kind of got a deeper understanding of why things happen as opposed to just treating people. And it's interesting that coming from a traditional background and treating people with meds, and now having a completely different understanding of how the body works, and being aware of how things affect our body, it's a tremendous shift for me, and I think it can be for others. And so by coming up with that, I feel that that's something that we all need to look at. And obviously doing other things, being out in nature, really understanding the power of the sun and how important that is, and also understanding things work on rhythms, just like our ancestors did way back when they had to go eat. They were eating in different phases, and the thing is that we are very regular as far as our clock, as far as getting up in the morning, as far as going to bed at night, and the timing of our foods. All that's important, and it really affects our metabolism. So I know that some people have issues with problems with their weight, and the thing is that the if you're struggling with weight, it may not necessarily be the food. And you could be doing everything right. You could be eating the best diet. You could be exercising, and you're still not getting better. You're still maybe struggling with weight loss or weight problems, and you still could have metabolic issues. So we need to dig deeper to find out the reasons. And there is a reason why. And I can help you find out what it is that's actually triggering or finding out why you have the problems or the health conditions that you have, perhaps getting you off medications, perhaps understanding, what are the things for you that makes you tick, because we're all individual. And the thing is that what I found with, comparing traditional medicine versus functional medicine, when you had somebody who was diagnosed in 5 minutes and given a drug, which may or may not work and may have side effects, uh, you know, you have to understand that people are different. They couldn't tolerate the normal doses. You may have to put them on a smaller dose, or you may have to do things differently than what you were trained to do. You were trained as somebody, giving medications and following a protocol. And what I like about functional medicine is that I can be more creative, and that's really why I went into medicine, or why I really wanted to be a practitioner and a healer, because I wanted to be creative. I wanted to understand where people are coming from. I wanted to understand how things work in the body, and really trying to put the pieces together so that you can actually thrive, and you can live your life, and you can do what you want to do by understanding how your body works and what is going on with your body, and how you can make things work for you, including the right foods, including the right amounts of exercise, and just healing what is going on with you. So I repeat that if you have struggling with brain fog, or if you're struggling with digestive systems or digestive problems, or you have depression or anxiety, or you're having irritable bowel and you're not getting better, then I'm somebody who I know can help with whatever is going on with you, and to find out why, and to come up with a not necessarily a protocol, but come up with something that works for you. And that's the important thing now, that I realize that functional medicine is actually the future of medicine, and that the system that we have is broken, and that really we need to understand how people work, and not just give people a quick fix. And I think people are understanding that now. I really think that people are able to really understand things about how the body works, and understand the impact, the importance of the microbiome, and realizing how the gut produces our hormones, and how it affects our blood sugar, and how that if we just do simple things, that we're able to reverse some chronic illnesses, or we're able to make them less impactful. And so I therefore want to reach out to you and say, hey, I've been through this, and I want to be able to help you, because I know that by understanding where you're coming from, and understanding why things happen the way they do, that we can make a better impact, and we can work together in order to help you get to where you want to go, and help you achieve optimal wellness and health. So I thank you very much, and